Welcome to Running on Reddit r/Bridezillas, where the craziest brides and wedding stories are shared on Reddit. Hi, first time posting, and got to get this off my chest. Backstory is that Bride and I have been close friends for about 7 years, and she asked me to be her joint maid of honor with one other woman, maid of honor 2, back in the winter. Now, for the last 2 years I have suffered from severe nerve pain. I found out in June that it is because a benign tumor is pressing on my nerves, so I need surgery to have it removed. My surgery requires a significant recovery, about 8 weeks, and the bachelorette party is 7 weeks following the surgery. After talking to Motu, we decided she would take over planning for the bachelorette, while I focus on prepping for and recovering from my surgery. We've already planned a place to stay, activities and schedule up to this point. Fast forward 1 month. Knowing full well that my surgery is this week, the bride called me to ask if I still wanted to be her maid of honor and if I know what that entails. She said she's frustrated with me because maid of honor 2 said I wasn't contributing and helping with the bachelorette and that I haven't been involved. She's been frustrated with me since last fall when I didn't fly into town to go wedding dress shopping, despite telling me it was no problem at the time. Traveling is hard with my pain, and I was traveling extensively already at the time for work. She didn't think I really wanted to be maid of honor, since I texted "Are you sure? I don't want to let you down." After she initially asked me to be her maid of honor back during winter, and I have not since expressed any concerns or doubts. She's frustrated I have told people I'm most likely not going to come to the bachelorette because of my surgery. She wants me to make it work, and I should come, but just stay at the house and not go out with them at night, since I'll still be in recovery. I told her I couldn't commit until I was in recovery, and I didn't know how I could address these past issues if I didn't know there was a problem in the first place. She apologized for not communicating with me. I asked her how we could adjust moving forward so something like this wouldn't happen again. She said nothing. I told her that I'd like to view this as a reset and I'm willing to recommit to our friendship. She agreed. Fast forward 4 days. I called maid of honor 2 because I thought we had left on good terms and I wanted to clear the air, since it sounded like she was frustrated with me too. Motu said she was frustrated about me not paying for decorations, which I quickly remedied, but she wasn't disappointed or frustrated with me for stepping away. In fact, she was open to it and supportive of me. She told me the bride has been venting about me and talking trash essentially since fall time, and maid of honor 2 has been encouraging bride to talk to me and be more empathetic to the fact that I'm functioning with an invisible illness this whole time. She commiserated that the bride is not the most sympathetic. In the past, bride has expressed that she misses the old me. I have been a sadder version of myself lately, and I've changed to not as happy and vibrant as I used to be. Bride was supposed to visit me as I prepare for my surgery this week, but she got a cold. I told her to visit after the surgery, and she let me know she has other plans and won't visit until probably week 3 of my recovery. What do I say when that moment comes? Am I letting her talk down to me? Is she being a shoddy friend, or am I being sensitive? P.S. I've gained weight due to my illness, and I'm now plus size. Even though I've told her this many times, she doesn't give me options for bridesmaid dresses in my size range. She thinks I can lose the weight after my surgery, before the wedding. Wedding is in the spring. I thought that maid of honor 2 was trying to cut out OP. Turns out the Bridezilla is just a bad friend. Hey friends, family, co-workers, acquaintances, whoever you are, we cannot be more thrilled for the wedding next month. As most of you are aware, there will be a theme to which you need to abide by, or else you will be turned away by security. We find that this will create some unforgettable memories and fun. This wedding theme could not be more personal to Brad and I, as we are in a homosexual marriage, LMAO. In all seriousness, every single guest will have to be gay for our wedding. Your +1 must be of the same gender, and you must act affectionate and interested in your +1. You want to make it appear that you are gay. That's right, for one night, everyone is going to be gay. Why are we doing this, you might ask? Because Brad and I spent 25 years of our lives trying to conform to heterosexuality. It sucked. We thought what better way to connect than to undergo the same experience? It is conducive towards empathy, awareness, and LGBT rights. And yes, Uncle Rick, even you too. We know how straight you are, but we simply ask that for one day you go deep down inside yourself to bring out the gayest you can muster. Don't try disguising your wife as a man either. We know it's her. Try bringing one of your fishing buddies as a date. At the end of the night, we will take a massive gay picture. Each couple will be required to kiss each other on the lips. Bonus points for tongue. If you do not arrive on site without a gay partner, you will be denied admission. Again, we are completely serious about this. We hope you can understand our philosophy and hope this will be a fun celebration with an added touch of learning. Until then, wonder how that picture turned out. Hope Uncle Rick had a great time. My ex-husband got married. We are not friends, but we are not enemies either. Our 5-year-old daughter was invited to be a flower girl. I didn't attend the wedding, but I made her look like a princess and sent her with my ex-sister-in-law, with whom I still have a good relationship. Sister-in-law messaged me after the ceremony. Apparently, my clumsy little girl fell down in the middle of the aisle walk. A faceplant, she described. Luckily, she wasn't hurt, but it made such a huge noise that everybody exclaimed "oh" and turned their heads from the bride to my kid. The old pastor was very worried too. The bride went red and howled like a bulldog. They made sure the child was okay and continued the ceremony. Afterwards, the bride turned to the mother-in-law and said bitterly, "Did her mama instruct her to do it?" My first reaction was laughter. I laughed to tears, like crazy. I've been getting angrier since that day. I will make sure my angel spends as little time with this woman as possible. Sounds like sabotage. Modern warfare tactics are developing at a rapid pace. Let me know in the comments below the funniest time you tripped or lost your balance. If you like the content and want to support the channel, like and subscribe right now, or you'll be running on fumes. A good friend of mine is getting married, and I'm in her bridal party. It's a destination wedding, but in driving distance from our city. We are all staying at the same lodge. Originally, 6 months ago, I asked her how much the rooms would cost, or what lodging accommodations would be available, and she told us we would all be staying on the property that the venue was on, but that the rooms for the bridal party were already covered. When she told me this, I breathed a huge sigh of relief, as I'm on a very strict budget, as I'm trying to aggressively pay off college debt right now, and making really good progress. Then yesterday, she drops on us, very casually, this text: "Hey ladies, just FYI, the rooms for the wedding weekend are $280. Please Venmo me whenever you are able." Had I known 6 months ago, when I asked her the first time about rooms, I would have budgeted for this expense. Now I feel like I have no choice but to pay it anyway, since the wedding is in 2 weeks. However, I'm furious. I don't know what to do about it, but it's really put a damper on my ability to be happy for my friend. She's very unorganized about the wedding arrangements and has changed up a lot of stuff. But hey, it's her wedding. She can do what she wants when it doesn't really impact others. But this affects me and deeply cuts into my budget. I told her I'd pay her half now and half next month, but honestly I really can't even afford to do that and stick to my budget, which means I'm back to putting things on credit cards. I want to confront her about it, but I know it will cause a huge rift between us. I don't know how to approach the situation really. Any advice? Maybe request more time, a couple months at least, so OP could have time to budget like originally planned. TLDR, Bridezilla was angry we didn't have veil fabric to match her custom dress, made grandma spend $300. I was the manager at a big box fabric retailer, so we got all sorts of crafty brides that came in. So much so that, if I ever see burlap and lace at a wedding now, it makes me want to throw up. I have so many stories of different Bridezillas, but I know where I want to start. First one, let's call her A, came in and was looking for tulle. Her mom, maid of honor and grandmother were with her. She comes up to me asking where the tulle was. I bring her to her options and immediately things go south. At this point A won't speak directly to me, she talks through her entourage. I felt very silly seeing, as though I could hear the bride, because she was speaking out loud, but would say things like, tell her I want something with lace, tell her this is too shimmery, tell her this is too pink, and they would comply and tell me as such. Apparently grandma had told A that she would make her cathedral veil for her instead of buying one at the dress designer, and we didn't have the correct shade of ivory. I was told her dress was custom made, but the designer wanted to charge $200 for a custom veil to match, and A thought that was silly. I explained that we were a big box retailer, and when you order your veil custom made it will be dyed to match the dress. They could dye the tulle they buy today, but no, that was absolutely unacceptable. The wedding was in a week and they needed the veil done by tonight. Then maid of honor tells me they have driven for an hour to get here specifically because it said we had ivory tulle online. I explained how dye lots can differ from bolt to bolt, and online states this as well, and if they were coming all this way they should have called first, and I would have happily had a staff member available to help them out. This was a Saturday and we were very busy. I becomes irate at this, and starts throwing a tantrum inside my store. I tell grandma, who at this point is the only one staying level-headed, that the options we had out were her only options. I couldn't make fabric fall out of my butt. Grandma managed to talk mom and maid of honor down into a lace that was closer to the right shade. I don't know what A thought, because she was only speaking to mom at this point in whispers. Then we hit the next big issue. Grandma agreed to make a cathedral veil, and has never made one before. We go and find a pattern and turns out the only way to make it work with this fabric was to put a seam down the middle, which as long as the fabric was matched up nicely wouldn't have been very noticeable. Finally starts speaking directly to me, but it's screaming that you can hear through the whole store. The veil I saw when she tried her dress on didn't have a seam, so this one shouldn't either. I rationally started explaining that the only way not to have a seam would be if she purchased a wider fabric, since she didn't like the colors we had in stock and didn't want to dye it. This was as good as she was going to get. Mom and maid of honor at this point escort A out of the building, leaving me and grandma to chat. Grandma bought all the fabric, embellishments, and supplies. I found her coupons for a few things, but the fabric alone was $30 a yard, so this poor grandma ended up shelling out about $300 for this veil. You can buy them online for about $50 to $300. That woman was one of the nicest people I have met, and I felt horrible and told her this multiple times she could buy a veil online for cheaper. She kept insisting on buying the fabric and making the veil. I'm sorry your granddaughter sucked. Bridezilla sounds like a handful of mess. Poor planning, poor manners, poor temper, and poor attitude. Thanks for watching. Remember to subscribe and turn on the bell or you'll be running on fumes. See you in the next video.